We have been increasingly concerned with what's going on with abortion rights in the United States. And the message that I had when Donald Trump became president and started selecting people to the Supreme Court was they're not giving up. They're going to try. They're going to do everything they can to make abortion illegal. And they're going to do it by appealing cases to the Supreme Court. And they did it. And we are now waiting to see what the Supreme Court decides. But in the meantime, states aren't wasting any time. Oklahoma Republicans have passed a law forcing a woman to have her rapist's baby. It is a near total ban on abortion with no exceptions for rape or incest. This isn't going to stop. They're going to keep doing it. Governor Kevin's tit, who's the governor of Oklahoma, says, as governor, I represent all 4 million Oklahomans, and they overwhelmingly support protecting life. We want Oklahoma to be the most pro-life state in the country. We want to outlaw abortion in the state of Oklahoma. They're not kidding around. The bill also says anyone found guilty of an abortion, think about the language, if you're found guilty of an abortion, you can get up to 10 years in jail and a $100,000 fine. There are cases where convicted rapists don't get 10 years in jail and a $100,000 fine. Some get only a few months jail time. And Oklahoma Governor Stitt signed the legislation, and it nearly bans all abortions in Oklahoma. The only exception left, the only carved out exception left, is to save the life of a pregnant woman in a medical emergency. And of course, who gets to decide what such a medical emergency is? Now, one of the odd things about this new law is that Oklahoma already has a law on the books banning all abortions except when necessary to preserve the life of the pregnant person. The old law only has a 5-year prison sentence. The new law ups the maximum to 10 years and $100,000. So it's not even, we have no law and we are anti-abortion, so let's pass a law. No. It's, we already have a law. We just don't think the punishment is strict enough. So let's pass another law. It's become a race to the bottom with these Republican culture wars. And we could all be living, modern technology and medicine and innovation would allow us to be living in an age sort of led by science and enlightenment. But we are fighting a group of people that is determined to have a country based on extreme Christian fundamentalism. And many of these Republicans, when you talk to them, their anti-abortion stance is based on a religious belief. It's not a science-based belief. It's a religious belief. Now, strictly speaking, we have separation of church and state. Formally, you're not supposed to be able to justify a law with religious doctrine. In other words, it can't be written in the law that because of what the Bible says, abortion is illegal. But all of these Republicans are using the Bible to justify their votes, for sure. I'm not saying there's any way to prevent that. You get into some really dicey First Amendment issues, but understand that we have plenty of law in this country that is based on the religious beliefs of the elected officials. And they're entitled to those beliefs for sure. But strictly speaking, officially, those beliefs can't be the state's justification for a law. And again, I'm not saying that the free exercise of religion should be suppressed, but religion is being used at the individual level to get all of this stuff done. Now, there's an important upcoming event. It is very plausible. I don't know that I want to call it likely. I want to maintain some optimism, but it is possible that Roe v. Wade is in its final days because we are expecting a decision in late June from the Supreme Court. Last December, the Supreme Court heard arguments in Dobbs v. Jacobson Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization. This is a Mississippi case, and it's asking the court to overturn Roe v. Wade. And there are 6 justices currently on the court who are at least open to overturning Roe v. Wade. Some of them are eager to do so. 22 states already have abortion bans on the books. And so if Roe v. Wade is effectively overturned by the forthcoming Supreme Court decision, those 22 states already have laws that basically ban all abortions. And most of those would take effect immediately if Roe v. Wade is overturned. A fascinating but grim reality is that some of those abortion bans in certain states predate Roe v. Wade. They are really archaic. And those are the anti-abortion laws that would immediately be in play if Roe v. Wade is overturned in late June by the Supreme Court. So the framework is already there. And we could be seeing the United States rapidly accelerate to a sort of sci-fi dystopian situation with a resurgence of sort of back alley / underground abortion clinics, people leaving states in order to get the services they need elsewhere. I often say we don't want to point to a slippery slope when there's unlikely to actually be one. We don't want to unnecessarily fearmonger. That's a tool of the reactionary right. This is a very real possibility that we are now facing. And Wisconsin's law makes abortion a felony, punishable by up to 6 years in prison. That law is over 100 years old. And it's not likely to be repealed, meaning if Roe v. Wade is overturned, that's the Wisconsin law that goes into place. It's not been relevant because of Roe v. Wade. Scary times ahead. Very, very scary times ahead.